Hey there, Coach Daniel here. Hope you're doing really well. Welcome to what I believe is a very important episode in which we're going to talk about how to get past that obsessing, that ruminating, those like intrusive, recurring thoughts that happen over and over again. And the reason I really want to talk about this is that so often when we have somebody on the channel here that has a success story to share, you often hear that person saying something like, I just stopped obsessing, or, I really stopped thinking so much about it. I stopped worrying, things of that nature. And when you hear that and you're in a state where you're really struggling with, with insomnia, anxiety, all these thoughts, etc., it can be a little bit confusing, because when somebody says, I stopped obsessing, then you naturally wonder, how do they do that? Because I would want to do that too. I know that if I stopped obsessing so much, things would be so much better for me. So when you hear somebody say, I stopped obsessing, it seems like they actively did something, that they just decided not to obsess so much, and that led them to a place where they are doing much better. But here's the thing. If you have a kind of a minor worry, something that you're not particularly worried about, a kind of a fleeting thought about something, then actually you can decide, so to speak, to kind of just dismiss that thought. Somebody tells you, like, if somebody, maybe you're completely new to this channel and you've had trouble sleeping a little bit, and you just hear there's nothing to worry about, and then you may literally go like, oh, I don't have to worry about this. Oh, good. Dismiss the thought, it's gone. And so that can work for sure if the thought that is there is a fleeting one. But if it's an entrenched one, if this is something that's been on your mind for a while and you've really tried to work on this, but it's sticky, then this is for you. All right. So we talked about kind of the rationale for this episode here. And now we're going to talk about something I just thought about the other day, which is that basically the brain can be in these two, like, principally different states: danger and no danger. Okay. So the brain can be in a state where it has identified something that is threatening or not. Those are kind of two different states it can be. And when the brain is in a state of danger, it has basically like four kind of core emotions that it can deploy to keep you safe. And those are fear, disgust, anger, and sadness. If the threat seems to be this kind of like rotten food, of course it deploys disgust to keep you safe that way. If you're facing like these kind of hopeless odds, there's really nothing you can do, then it may deploy sadness, because that can at least elicit some sympathy or keeps you from doing something that actually could increase your risk. So doing nothing often is good. That's when it deploys sadness. Fear and anger are pretty obvious ones. But what I wanted to illustrate here was that when there's danger, the brain kind of deploys one of these four things to make you take action or no action. Either way, it just wants to keep you safe by deploying these emotions. Anxiety, by the way, is a form of fear, right? But this fear of the unknown is the common one too. And how about when there's the state of no danger? Well, in the state of no danger, the brain sometimes deploys happiness in kind of short bursts, makes you want to do something that is increases your risk, your chances of survival, like, go meet some friends, deploy some happiness there to make you do that, socialization, building kind of safety net, etc., and things of that nature. But when there is a no danger state in your brain, what's probably is more common than those bursts of happiness that happen there and here and there is no strong emotion. When there's no danger, there's no strong emotion, and that is actually what we experience as peace of mind. Peace of mind really comes from a place where there's no strong emotion whatsoever, and that's, of course, where you want to get to. Okay, I thought this was very important to point out before we move further. So what I want to say here, one thing I want to point out here is that the danger emotions, the fear, anger, disgust, and sadness, they are also, quote unquote, supposed to be those bursts. They're supposed to be just those practical bursts to make you do something, get out of that dangerous situation, and then they're, quote unquote, supposed to go away. They are fleeting. Thoughts are fleeting at baseline, and emotions come from thoughts. Remember that. So thoughts and emotions are fleeting at baseline unless they are maintained. And how are they really maintained? We're going to see that today. We're going to go to that place. Actually, right now, we're going to talk about our species, Homo sapiens sapiens, what is unique about us, I should say, is that we're not only Homo sapiens, we're not only the man who can know something, who can think or can know, but we're Homo sapiens sapiens. We're man who thinks about thinking, or who can think about thinking, who can be aware of their thoughts and emotions. And why is this important to know about? Well, consider a squirrel, which can think and experience emotions, but cannot think about those thoughts or think about their emotions. So you probably, if you drive, at least if you're here in the Pacific Northwest, there's often squirrels on the road, and oftentimes it's quite scary. They're kind of like, they're just sitting there on the road, and you're like, I don't want to kill you, little squirrel, please get out of the way. And then like they finally realize that there's a real danger there, and I bet they become scared. Their brains deploy fear, and they run off, they dart away, and they often narrowly escape the threat of being killed, really. But guess what? Like a couple of seconds later, they're munching on a nut, which obviously they're not, their brain has gone from danger to no danger in a few seconds. They literally from like, they almost died to no danger. I can eat this nut. And that shows you that if you're unable to think about your thoughts, the most, scary thought, the most scary situation, just leads to those thoughts still being fleeting and going away pretty quickly. So, so that is, danger state is over when there's, so again, if you can't think about your thoughts, the danger state in your brain is over when there is no perceptible threat, for that little squirrel. But unlike the squirrel, we humans can identify thoughts as unwanted, undesirable, intrusive, obsessive, negative, which actually then becomes that we think of the thoughts themselves as the danger. We think of the thoughts as a thing we don't have, we want to get away from. The thoughts themselves have become the threat. And now they are no longer fleeting, because now we're trying to get away from them. So basically, we are now in a situation where the brain is trying to tell us that there is danger and deploys these thoughts and these emotions. But we're like, no, we don't want to have those. And we were trying to tell the brain, no, there's no danger. The brain says there's danger. We're like, no, there's no danger. There's no danger. There's no danger, when we try to not have those thoughts, right? And then the brain insists that it wants to save you, wants to keep you safe. So when you say no danger and it says danger, it goes like, no, there's danger, and it just keeps feeding you these thoughts. And now you see that those, thoughts and emotions that would have been fleeting at baseline, because the way we humans are, the capacity that we humans have for identifying thoughts as problems actually is the reason that they become maintained. They can become maintained for very long stretches of time because of our efforts of trying to not have them. All right. So this is very important. I hope this makes sense to you. Please let me know in the comments if it didn't. Okay. So now we've seen that when we can deduce here that when you no longer try to make the thoughts go away, they resume their fleeting nature. Okay. And the brain goes back to a place where there's no danger, and you experience that peace of mind, because with no danger, there is no strong emotions deployed by the brain. So the cessation of obsessive thoughts occur when you no longer try to stop yourself from obsessing. Okay, this is kind of that counterintuitive twist here. That if we go back to the people that say that they stopped obsessing, how did they do that? Well, I forgot to mention education is, of course, very important too. Just by learning about things, you naturally don't think so much about them. That is true, but it is also because those who, quote unquote, stopped obsessing either became educated or stopped trying to stop their thoughts. And that was really what I want to convey here. That when you are no longer identifying thoughts as unwanted, undesirable, negative, obsessive, intrusive, but you think of them as simply thoughts, and you no longer try to stop them, you no longer maintain those danger emotions and those thoughts. Okay, so that is a key. And those who stopped obsessing have gone to that place, and so can you. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but just understanding this is a huge step in that direction. So I hope this was really helpful to you. And if you like our teaching here and you think that, I would like some more of this in a more formalized way, maybe more support and guidance, then please check out our self-coaching master program, which is on our website. That is perfect if you like to learn by video, and if you like to join a support group of other students that are also on their way towards sleeping well for the rest of their lives. And if you prefer another way, then we have a very nice app called BedTyme, where I'm coaching. You can download it on your app store. You're very welcome. So I hope this was helpful again, and I hope to see you here very soon. Until then, take it easy.